depending on the direction that they keep us in. Isolation. I am at my home.
I'm at my home.
I am all alone.
I am all alone.
I am at my home.
I am still at my home.
I am in isolation.
In isolation.
Isolation, a conversation we should have with every single generation. The older people need a working vaccination. The younger people on a threat of decimation. I am at my home. I am all alone. I picked up the phone.
Hello.
And I said hello.
Hi.
Isolation breeds agitation. Unless you find a way to get some inspiration. Make a creation, film a claymation, or just eat chips and talk to friends while on PlayStation.
A little boy on the road. I said, hey man, you shouldn't be alone. I said, maybe you can give me your phone and then I can help you call home. You can't be more than 4'4", and I think it's about to get dark. He said, I'm 36 and I think I'm okay to walk through this park. And that's when I realized you should never judge a person by the size. And that's when I realized you should never guess an age with your eyes. And that's when I realized you should never judge a person by the size. And that's when I realized you should never judge an age, never judge an age with eyes. Never judge an age, never judge an age. I saw a girl the other day. I bumped into her when I was on my way. I said, little girl, let me know what brings you to the mall here all alone. She said, maybe 'cause I'm 52. I've got my whole life hating damn people like you. That's when I realized you never judge a person by the size. That's when I realized you should never guess an age with your eyes. That's when I realized you should never judge a person by the size. And that's when I realized you should never judge an age with your eyes. Never judge an age, never judge an age. Never judge a person by the size. Never judge a person by the. Never judge it. Never judge a person. Never judge an age. Never judge an age with your.
Isolation, stay away from other subway stations. Now's the time to limit your relation. Information for your conservation and observation. Isolation, time for practicing your masturbation. Sorry that you canceled your vacation. It's not just you, it's the whole entire nation in isolation.
We believe we should confront anxiety with a clear plan to deal with its root causes.
Just before we get to questions, I'm supposed to model healthy behavior. Nice and sunny, but a little brisk.
My constipation in isolation has really helped my toilet paper situation. Should hold up depending on the duration. I have to stay in isolation. A conversation you should have with every single generation. The older people need a working vaccination. The younger people are afraid of decimation.
Listen, Canada is a modest country. We know we can't solve these problems alone. We know we need to do this all together. We know it will be hard work, but we're Canadian, and we're here to help. And it's our job as your government to do justice to that compassion and to that kindness that you show to one another each and every day. We can build a better world for our kids and grandkids. This is who we are. This is what we believe in. This is Canada.
Isolation breeds agitation unless you find a way to get some inspiration. Make a creation, film a claymation, or just eat chips and talk to friends while on PlayStation. Station.
This song has no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, Give me lyrics, for this song, This song has no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, Give me lyrics, to the song, This part is where the verse goes. This part is where the verse goes. This part is where the verse goes. No shine, no lyrics, This part is where the verse goes. This part is where the verse goes. This part is where the verse goes. No shine, no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, Give me lyrics, for this song, This song has no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, Give me lyrics, for this song,
Maybe a rap part comes in here, I'm not sure, it's not clear. Maybe it would sound weird if we don't do a rap part. Maybe we do a verse that sounds similar to the first, so it would sound like this part is where the verse goes. This part is where the verse goes. This part is where the verse goes. No shine, no lyrics, This part is where the verse goes. This part is where the verse goes. This part is where the verse goes. No shine, no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, This song has no lyrics, Give me lyrics, for this song,
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A science content developer and a very smart lady. That's our new champion. Susanna and Edward, you are the challengers today. I welcome you and wish you all good luck. We're now starting the Jeopardy round. With these categories.
Hi, welcome to There's Always Jeopardy. I'm Pat.
And I am Jan.
Hey, Jan. How you doing, Jan?
Apparently really in a good mood today, Pat. How are you?
Nice. I'm feeling all right. Yeah. We just saw Cindy there. I just wanted to correct myself from our last show. I said that she was a contest developer, but she's a content developer. Contest.
I also misheard.
Exciting. Seems more exciting than content. This content is just so broad. Like, yeah. I'm a content developer. Who cares?
Sure. And I also got a lot of pleasure, like, trying to figure out what a science contest is.
Yeah.
Is it like who makes the best vinegar baking soda volcano?
Yeah, whose volcano can shoot the highest, whatever.
Yeah. I see you're joined by Toronto's baby Larry there. Hi, Larry.
Larry, look, it's Jan.
Hi, buddy. Cutie.
We're really trying to teach him waving. Sometimes it works. Sometimes
he'll come to it on his own. He just has to develop his own style. Yeah,
but what's interesting about that is that we do it a lot like this, but I never do that to anyone else in my life. And they're like, oh, hey, man.
But what if one day Larry just surprises everybody and instead of waving, it's like, Larry, look, it's Jen. And he just goes, wouldn't that be great?
What are you going to do? We think he said bus when a bus went by.
He's a genius.
Yeah. We think. We think. Let's, I want to talk about baby Larry for a minute.
Toronto's baby Larry?
Toronto's baby Larry. Yeah. But first, let's get the tomato sauce update out of the way.
Oh my God. Yes, please.
I think how much did you use for the lasagna?
A jar and a half.
A jar and a half.
Whoa.
So now we're down to 5.5 jars.
Is the half jar still a nasty basil?
Yeah, we still have half a jar of nasty basil in the fridge.
Are you ever going to use that half jar of nasty basil?
Yeah. I'll use it at some point for something.
There's another jar.
And there's another jar that's the same kind.
Yipey.
And we have 1.5 nasty basils. It's rough, man. It's rough for everyone right now. You know what I mean?
I know. We all have our crosses to bear these days.
Everyone's got their own nasty basil in their life, you know?
Yeah. I have 2 1-kilogram bags of mini eggs.
Oh, wow.
I'm currently making my way through.
Well, I've gone through in 41 days or whatever. I'm partway through my 3rd 1-kilogram bag of Reese's Pieces. So we're all doing it.
That's an impressive showing, though, because those are small. Like they're easy to eat fast. I'm surprised it's that few.
Thank you. Thank you. It wouldn't be that few if I didn't get looks. So yeah, I wanted to talk for a second about Toronto's baby Larry.
Yeah.
Because if you're watching this show, you follow me on Facebook probably. You probably already know, or somewhere, and you probably already know that we dress our child, Larry, up in different costumes all the time. We hashtag it Larry Looks. Mm-hmm. Just a fun pandemic project that we're doing.
It's been a real healing salve for the community. I say that without irony.
That's what a lot of people are saying, and I mean, that's not what we set out to do, but we're very, very happy that that's how people are receiving it. But I wanted to bring this up because we did an interview for Now magazine with Glenn Sumi, and it was great. We love this interview because there has been other press about Larry, and there's always these trolls that want to talk about like how horrible it is that we dress him as a girl and like how he's going to need therapy and like what are we doing to him and all this stuff. So it was really fun because we knew Glenn would be up for it, for us to like attack that head on and sort of like state our position on it or whatever, which is great. It was great. So that article got shared, and then somebody wrote on someone else's post of that article this, which I found is just my favorite thing today. So someone posted that article, Toronto's baby Larry, helping us get it through the pandemic. And then somebody posted, I am embarrassed. And then waited for their friend to ask them why, and then said, ever since I turned 70, little baby girls in bras make me want to put on a bra, even though I have not bothered since this virus society began. Now, he's not a little girl in a bra, but innocent mistake, I guess. But what's going on with this woman? That she's like, where is she seeing these little girls in bras? She's seeing them and just beating herself up, being like, they have bras and I'm not wearing one. What's wrong with me? Just put one on.
A baby can wear a bra, and I'm sitting here in this virus society with my tits akimbo.
It sucks. And then her friend said, Larry is actually a boy, and she said, that complicates my reaction and response also. Very cute little cross-dresser. So what's interesting is I thought in the first line that she was going to turn on him. She said, that complicates my reaction. But she still does call him a very cute little cross-dresser, which is interesting.
I can't even begin to unpack this.
I've been staring at it all day.
I'm just going to be in my bed at night and then just go like, and think about it.
Imagine someone else posting a story about something that has nothing to do with you and you just writing, I am embarrassed.
You know what? I will say this. I went through a very dark time where I watched all of Glee on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And every time my boyfriend would come into the room, he'd be like, what are you doing? And I'd just be like, I'm just so embarrassed. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it's on her.
Yeah, it's definitely on her. I'm going to laugh about it, but I'm not going to be like, are we doing something wrong here?
No, you guys are doing everything just right.
Embarrassing this woman. So we
really embarrassed her.
We had Austin Rogers on for 2 days. That was a really fun, really informative conversation. Maggie and I were talking about it later because he was talking about how like the trick to it is you have to read the answer. You can't listen to the answer.
Yeah.
But what I'm curious about is how far away is it? How easy is it for you to read it where you are? Is it like on a monitor also closer to you? You know what I mean? Like if that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Sort of hard to tell because there's so many tricks in studio shooting.
Yeah, and you also sometimes see like the contestants, like oftentimes they'll like look off to the side and you're like, are they looking at their like friend or mom, or are they looking at a judge, or what's everybody seeing?
I don't know.
It really makes me want to go and watch a taping.
I do want to watch a taping. I want to learn everything we can learn now. The more I learn, the more questions I have.
Yeah.
It's fun. So you passed around something on Twitter today that was an Alex reaction.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. I think that we live for when Alex like cuts someone down a little bit, right? We live for it. Sharon lives for it. We're all there for it, you know, like, and we talk about it and whatever. And sometimes I think, because he knows that. He knows he's going to kill if he, like, just stabs him a little bit. But
a real dig.
Is it too far? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe we should look at it first, and then we can talk about it.
Her favorite type of music is something I've never heard of, but it doesn't sound like fun.
I think it's very fun. It's called nerdcore hip hop. It's
nerdcore
hip hop. Yes, it's people who identify as nerdy, rapping about the things they love: video games, science fiction, having a hard time meeting romantic partners. You know, it's really catchy and fun.
Losers, in other words.
Well.
I love his confidence. I love his delivery, like his broadcaster's delivery of that. Losers, in other words.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, I feel like Alex is like looking at this with a sense of irony, because if Alex Trebek, king of the nerds, is calling you like a nerdy loser, like I feel like that's a little badge of courage. Like that's a little badge of honor.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a nice way to look at it.
And also, he kind of sets it up from the beginning. He's like, you do something that doesn't sound very fun. And she's like, I think it's fun. I think this woman is just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like I took a bit of heat on Twitter today for defending Alex.
Yeah.
Which I will do until my dying breath.
Great. It's good to have something to live for.
Yeah.
Today we have a very special guest because it's Jeopardy heads. You know, we love trivia, and this guy runs trivia all the time, all around the city. He's really made a life of it, which is fascinating to me. And now he's doing it online every Thursday. And I'm sure I've mentioned it on the show before that I play Thursday nights, another round trivia with our guest, Mr. Terrance Balazo.
Hi, Terrance.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for having me on this show.
Thanks for coming.
Excited to have you. I think what we'll do is we'll go through the episode a little bit first, and then after we do that, we'll sort of talk to you about the trivia that you do.
Sure, sounds good.
So, as you know, we're reviewing the second episode in the Cindy Stoll collection.
Mm-hmm.
And I figure we might as well just say this off the top every time. Cindy Stoll is not with us. She actually died of cancer a week before her episodes aired, which is sort of a beautiful thing that they didn't shy away from this collection, I guess. It's great. What did you guys think of this episode?
I thought they just sped through that first half. They played that first half, bang, 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 so quick.
I thought they were going to get done all the Jeopardy questions before the first commercial break.
Yeah, and they almost did.
Yeah. No, it was fast paced, but then they didn't end up finishing the Jeopardy round. So who knows how these things work?
Yeah. It was too fast and then too slow. And something I noticed was that she didn't run away with this game at all. It was tight all the way through. But the guy on the end there, he really sort of blew it with a daily double. He didn't get close.
First of all, his mouth doesn't move when he talks. I don't know if he's a ventriloquist or whatever, but his very rigid jaw. And you know that red jacket he was wearing is the craziest thing that he owns.
That's for sure a personality piece.
Yeah, what am I going to wear? I'm an astronomer. This. I'm wacky.
Yeah.
It's interesting that somebody who's an astronomer, because a lot of people, and now I know that they don't pick the stories that get introduced. They just give them options, and then Alex pulls it out. But as an astronomer, I was a little bit surprised because a lot of people's answers or stories are about what their job is. You know, I just wasn't, and I thought astronomy is kind of interesting, especially now when you think about astronomers, you think really old guys.
Does Alex choose what he asks them? I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were told, is that they give them 5 stories, and I think then they're told 3 go on a card for Alex, 3 highlighted sentences, and then they're like, be ready for one of these 3, Alex will ask you, and Alex makes the call on the spot, I think.
And so this is the one that he thought was the most interesting about the man of science.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we'll get to the stories. So Jeopardy, the first round, the categories were much bigger than a bread box, literary lines, the Broadway musical's characters, which I know, Terrance, you got every one of those.
I destroyed it.
Representin'. Trees, and A Time for Us, end quotes, which means that it's just has a U.S. in it. What do you guys think of these categories? Obviously, musical was real easy for you. I got most of those too, except Maggie yelled the answers out to some of them before I could. What's this going to happen?
I thought the category representing was going to lead to a follow-up, representing something, but representing tree.
Yeah. And I almost think Alex did too. Like it felt like it kind of caught him by surprise because representing trees, a time for us. It's like they should have all been together, but no, not today.
Yeah, I thought it was, those categories were just fine.
I thought it was a pretty easy board, actually. Like, it was a lot of easy because, we talk a lot about on this show, oftentimes Pat and I will be like, this is such low-hanging fruit, like Broadway musicals or television theme songs. And it felt like all of these categories, maybe except for representing, were pretty pop culture knowledge. Like, you could probably know a lot of these answers just from watching Bugs Bunny.
Once I figured out that the representing was about American politics, I almost checked out. I was like, I don't know any of this. I knew one of them, I think.
And the last answer was a picture answer, and it was Michelle Bachmann, and I didn't get it. And then I was like, oh yeah, Michelle Bachmann.
Me too.
Yes.
Exactly.
But I saw the picture and was like, who is this? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh yeah, she was bananas. And then Double Jeopardy, the categories were Don't Hate the Playa. Just had the word playa in it somewhere. Stick With Me. Now, this one's interesting because one of the answers, can you just show us that clip? Dan, it was about
window ceiling.
Yeah, if we could just look at that clip. For what Alex had to say when nobody got that answer right.
The silicone type of this window sealing material makes an excellent adhesive. Talking about caulk. Back to you, Cindy.
Now, they all knew the answer. But collectively, they were like, no.
It's funny because Maggie and I were discussing this before. I've always referred to that as cocking.
That's what we said here.
As the noun, maybe that's just always been wrong, and I think I've just been making it more comfortable for myself. You know what I mean?
Maybe Alex was just trying to be super cool. It is cocking. He was like, what? We're talking about cock.
The thing is, he didn't just go, what is cock? He said, we're talking about cock.
Exactly. So cocking was on his screen. And he was like, no, I'm going to say this.
Now, he's very passionate about home renovations, which we discussed in the last episode. So this area is just really normal to him, and maybe he doesn't think it's funny. But I don't know. I loved it.
I think anytime you say cock on national television, you got to be thinking about it.
Yeah, before 8 p.m. Talking about
but he knew within the parameters he could say this because it's literally just the word. It's spelled differently, but he knew.
And I feel like if he really wanted to not make it that he was talking about cock, he would say caulk. He would kind of put a little bit of mustard on that L.
Right. Yeah, but he doesn't care about anything anymore.
No.
He's just living free.
He's a renegade. I hear he doesn't even wear underwear.
So the other...
Is that real?
What? The other categories were What a TV Drama King. Couldn't be easier. Historic agreement words. Yep. Below Zero. Francophile.
Okay, that below zero category, the first answer was it was a math question. Get out of here.
Yes. Yeah, it was 528 or something.
Yeah. Subtraction. What? Come on, get out of here.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. That sucked.
Yeah, that's not trivia.
Not cool.
Talk about cock. Talk about that.
Well, let's take a look at the stories.
Edward Montiel is from San Jose, California. He's an astronomer who once lived in Louisiana. When you were there, you participated in something, a red dress run?
In August of every year, I think it's the second Saturday, and You go down to New Orleans in a red dress and you run a 5K. Then you spend the rest of the day walking around the French Quarter, hanging out with your friends, and just enjoying that we are in red dresses.
Does the word weird ever come up in...
No, not in the Cajun dialect.
Oh, okay, good. Susanna Barron, a law student from Greenwich, Connecticut, who once appeared in National Geographic magazine. Tell me about that, because I was associated with the society for many, many years.
Yeah, so they're known for going to slightly more exotic locations, but they did once come to my hometown in Connecticut, and I was in elementary school. I was out having a lemonade stand, and the person was driving around, decided it seemed interesting, and stopped and took my picture and talked to me, and I was in the magazine.
And I bet you your parents have saved that magazine to this day.
It's somewhere.
It's somewhere, okay. Cindy Stoll, science content developer from Austin, Texas. You also knit and crochet, which is good news for your friends, because I'm sure you knit and crochet things for them. But you have, I understand, a problem with proportion.
Yeah, it's actually kind of more like a mixed blessing for my friends.
Yeah.
I just completed a baby blanket that ended up being probably more appropriate for a queen-size comforter. Also, it was finished finally about a year after the baby was born. So right now I'm just thinking the baby will eventually grow into it.
Okay, well, a year after the baby was born is not too bad, but if you said, the baby is now a fullback for the local high school, that would be too much. All right, let's get back into this one. Susanna, you're in command of this board right now. You go ahead and make the selection for us.
Let's do literary lines for 200, please.
Okay, first story. We ran a 5K in a red dress.
When he starts to explain it, he does that gulp like, yes, I was living, he's nervous about it.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about Trebek's reaction here, because it just sort of like speaks to his age. You don't need
He left the comment, I'm embarrassed.
Big deal about guys dressing up in red dresses. Though, I mean, this guy probably thought it was funny that he dressed in a red dress. That's why he's telling people about it or whatever. But hey, man, you want to wear a red dress? That's your business. You know what I mean?
Again, though, as an astronomer, that's the story Alex chose. Like there was nothing else. One time, my colleagues put black ink on the telescope, and then my eye was black. Like that would have been more exciting.
That would have been something. Yeah. Ran a 5K in a red dress. Pretty good. Next story. We have, she was in National Geographic. That's a Natural Jeopardy story. If you're in National Geographic, you'd mention that. It seems pretty normal to me.
I like it because she had a lemonade stand. And it's like, slow news day at National Geographic.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't find a possum or something in Connecticut to be like,
And also then Alex puts her on the spot, and we find out she doesn't know if her parents even have it anymore.
Somewhere. We don't speak.
And, he was driving around. He's a National Geographic photographer, so he's really got an eye for things. He's driving around. He thinks this lemonade stand is so interesting. Have to take a picture. Now, what was it that was so interesting about it? Was it maybe she was a very ugly child?
He thought it was some kind of wild animal.
Feral girl sells lemonade.
Maybe there was a skunk working the till. And then Cindy. So it doesn't surprise me at all that she's into crochet.
Cindy got off easy here. Her story is it's fine.
Yeah.
Cute story.
But Alex seemed delighted.
Yeah, I think there's a thing about Cindy where she's really like sort of meek and nervous, but she really knows how to deliver a joke, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like everything is sort of like, they're mild jokes, but her timing is nice, and I think Alex really got to like her.
Quite measured. And you know what I noticed about Cindy today is if you look at her name, her printing is so incredibly neat. but then she ends it with a little exclamation mark, which honestly, like that just burrowed its way into my heart because she's, you know, like we said, like she's just kind of this like meek woman who, you know, just talks. But then her name is like Cindy. Which I'm like, get it.
And then I also enjoyed how much Alex was reaching for the football joke. He started and then didn't know where it was going. And then, he's for the linebacker for the high school. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, the deep reach for that.
Yeah, it wasn't his smoothest play. Let's talk about Final Jeopardy for a second. You guys get it?
No, I did not.
I did not. So it was American authors, and it was this author won the Nobel Prize in 1968. Was it?
60. That was 62. 6 years before he died.
Yeah. Right.
So my thought was Truman Capote. I didn't know when Capote died.
Oh.
Right.
And then my girlfriend Patricia said, "Who wrote Mark Twain?" And then I said, Mark Twain. That wasn't the answer.
Yeah, I guessed Hemingway, which is what everybody guessed, and that wasn't right. It was Faulkner.
No, it was Steinbeck.
Steinbeck.
The other guy guessed Faulkner.
Right. The other guy guessed Faulkner. It was Steinbeck. You're right.
And I find like this was one of those Final Jeopardies. Like you see the category and you're like, I could probably pick it. If I had 6 guesses, I could probably pick within those 6 what that answer was going to be.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be Steinbeck. It's going to be Hemingway. It's going to be maybe Arthur Miller or something. But like,
Mega guessed Arthur Miller.
That's who I guessed too.
Yeah.
Twins.
You guys are twins. There, we settled it. Anyway, pretty good episode. Like I said, nobody ran away with it. It was a tight race, but we get more Cindy tomorrow.
Oh, and we got to see a cute monkey in the Double Jeopardy round.
That's true. What kind of monkey was that?
Colobus monkey?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Cool.
It was a cute monkey. I mean, it was no IKEA monkey, but...
Well.
Who is?
Yeah, who is? Baby Yoda comes close.
So, Terrance, you let's talk to you about your life, because it's fascinating to me. You're a trivia man.
Yes.
And you do lots of different trivia in lots of different places. You want to talk about that?
Sure. I've been writing and hosting trivia nights in Toronto for the past 15 years or so. I currently do three. Well, I was doing 3 a week, and then we're now in this virus society. So I'm doing it from
Virus in Virus Society is spelled VIRIS.
Of course it is. So I've been doing it from home. Yeah, I don't know. It's something I fell into as a weird career, and people seem to enjoy it, and it's kept me employed for a long time.
Yeah, that's great. And now you do it online, and that's,
yeah.
I was proud of you the other day because Austin Tyler Rogers was bragging that he gets like 30 or 40 teams in his online thing, and last time I played yours, there was over 100 teams, right?
Yeah, we had 109 teams last Thursday, which is insane.
Yeah.
Great, but...
Great. It's worth it.
It's a fun time, and one of your rounds was Frasier themed last week, which I was very excited.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about that one. As soon as I started writing it, I got very giddy. Almost couldn't finish it.
So, have you considered trying to get on Jeopardy?
I did the online test years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the same anymore, but I went and put my name in, and they gave me a time to do the written test online. I did that, and then I never heard back. I'm sure you've spoken about the online test with various people. It's tough. Not that the questions are tough, but you don't have a lot of time.
Right.
I've thought about doing it again, but I have not. I've had many friends on the show.
Many friends on the show.
Yeah. There's a gentleman who used to live in Pittsburgh. He's from Toronto, then moved to Pittsburgh, and every few months he would drive up on a Tuesday night to come to my trivia night.
Wow.
His name is Andrew, and he was on Jeopardy a number of years ago. Actually, maybe just last year. No, a few years ago. I don't know. And then I've had a couple other friends who I've met through my trivia nights who have been on the show, and they've all said it's very very stressful being on the actual show.
Yeah, I think that seems very stressful. We watched a guy in an episode last week, and he was just having so much buzzer trouble. Like, he was just completely defeated by the buzzer, and you could see him just get frazzled throughout the show.
Has anyone else talked about that? Who you've had on? Yeah, because it's if you ring in too early, they lock you out.
Yeah, you can't buzz in until the last syllable.
Then they unlock the buzzers.
Classic Trebek.
Loser.
Are you still doing quizzes for Maclean's?
Yes, I write the quiz in Maclean's magazine. There is an online component which I've fallen behind doing, but they'll be back again. But yeah, I've been writing the quiz in Maclean's magazine for the first issue that I was in was the week of the Boston Marathon bombing.
Ooh, very nice.
So I have a stack of magazines here. I'm like, it's my first quiz, and the front cover is Horror in Boston. So that's always fun.
Horror in Boston guy.
Yeah. And I do various private quizzes for companies and people and stuff. It's a great thing I fell into, and I love it.
People hire you for private quizzes?
Yeah.
Like corporate events and things like that?
Yeah, I've done quizzes for, I'm not going to name them, but a number of companies, some Toronto sports teams.
Oh!
Yeah, it's great because it's for their, team building and whatnot.
And all those gigs, did you seek any of the stuff out, or was it all just sort of born out of the trivia you were already doing?
It started from people coming to my nights and then asking if I would do a private gig for them.
Right.
And then I made some business cards and began handing them out. And now I've got a website. It's a website to contact me. It's anotheraroundtrivia.com, I believe. Or I can get contacted through Twitter or Facebook. And I do a lot of those. I was doing a lot of them. And then, as you know, Virus Society stopped all of it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited that you took the quiz online because now that we have a baby, we could never ever come out to anything, and now we can do your trivia.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that as something that you might continue once our Virus Society has resumed to normal society? To Maggie's point, it's like there are a lot of people who probably would tune in.
Well, it's fine. Yes. It's before this happened, I had been talking about doing this remotely for various bars where everyone could go to a bar and I would be on the screen from my home, which is nice and fun, but it's not the same. Like comedy.
Yeah.
It's not the same doing it, looking at your computer and imagining people laughing and stuff. There's something about being in the bar setting or the pub setting that makes it a little bit more fun and engaging as a performer. But who knows how lazy I'm going to get. So now that I know that I can do it, yeah. But I want to get back into doing it in front of actual people.
I like being in bars.
Yeah. Because I also love booze.
Yeah.
It seems to be a running thing with most of the people we've had on. Trivia people like booze.
Mm-hmm.
I think Austin said he was an alcoholic.
Now, don't be putting words in my mouth here, Jan. I just said I enjoy booze.
I didn't want to tell you this, but it's a bit of an intervention.
This was just straight vodka the whole time.
Now, Terrance, when you're writing your questions, do you have, because you mentioned you wrote the Frasier category, do you have categories that really make you happy to write? Be like, oh, I'm going to write in this category. And somewhere you're like, oh, I have to include geography.
Yes and no. I write theme rounds that excite me. like Frasier. I love Frasier. Let's get this out in the open.
Sure.
A giant Frasier head.
Tossed salad and scrambled eggs, of course.
Absolutely. One time I was hired by an accounting firm to do a quiz, and they asked me to write an accounting themed round. So I'll tell you this much: that was not exciting.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
There's not fun. There are questions that I have that I do at various corporate nights that I know are going to be gangbusters, and people will lose their minds, and they always do. And those are my favorite questions. And then I like when I have a nice bonus point for a music round that people get or don't get. I don't know. I like to write things that I find interesting. That sounds trite, but it makes it better for me.
Well, and also when you're presenting the questions as well, like you're excited if people get the answers right because it's stuff that you like, and yeah.
On that note, a lot of people got Frasier, so I was very happy.
Have you ever?
Oh, I think Pat's freezing up a bit.
Oh, Pat froze.
Well, until he comes back, let me ask you this: if you were going to be on Jeopardy, what would your dream category be?
Well, like I said, I destroyed the musical round on that. So anything theater, music, specifically musicals, would be great. I would say any kind of sports round, but then it would all be about like weird college football that I don't know about.
They love college football on Jeopardy.
They sure do.
Yeah.
So anything musicals based or any pop culture, basically. I know I watched when you had, what's his name on, talking about trash categories.
Yeah.
Whatever. Everyone knows pop culture. That's why it's pop culture.
Yeah. And it's the funnest.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me somebody who knows a lot about Egypt is going to be the funnest person in the room.
Totally.
Maybe.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, I'm back. This is what I wanted to ask you, Terrance. Have you ever... Like, what have you learned about writing trivia questions? Like, did you discover that you were like writing questions that were too hard? What works for people? Like, how has your trivia writing grown over time?
My answer to that usually is I've lost all concept of what's easy and what's difficult because I've written so many questions.
Yeah.
Right.
But it always astounds me when people don't know things I think they're going to know. That it's hard to explain, but
yeah.
And so what I try to do is I try to write a question where when I give you the answer, you can say, "Oh, that makes sense."
Right.
Whether you got it right or wrong, when you hear the answer, you should be able to figure it's logically what the answer should be.
Right.
That is how I feel, Terrance.
Oh, good.
Success.
Good. One thing I found is that people don't like questions about things that happened just before they were born.
Okay.
Do you think it's because it's out of their frame of reference, or?
Sure. And I always people will always say, "Oh, I was only a baby then." Well, that's fine. But you also got the answer in the last round about Julius Caesar, who lived 2,000 years before you were a baby. So. But things that are very close to people's birth are things that they don't like because they don't know them. I have found
a glimpse into our own narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're gonna wrap up here, Larry.
No,
calm down.
Sounds like he's not happy right now.
It's because he missed the question about what happened 8 or 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Terrance, you want to just sort of tell people where they can find your trivia on Thursday nights?
Go to Another Round Trivia on Facebook, and there's a link to the Facebook Live. You can also find me on Twitter at @A_R_trivia, because I wanted to make it as difficult as possible. And there'll be a link to the live feed that starts at 7:15 every Thursday. There are prizes, and just a good time to hang out with friends who you maybe haven't seen in the past couple weeks.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. It's user-friendly, and it's a ton of fun. I recommend doing it. Thanks so much for talking to us today, Terrance.
Thanks for having me on. This was really great.
Thanks, Terrance.
All right, and thank you all. This has been There's Always Jeopardy.
Hey, I'm adequate Jeopardy player Austin Rogers. I want you guys to make sure that you watch There's Always Jeopardy every weeknight at 6:30 p.m.
Although it was not a runaway for Seth in yesterday's game.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching There's Always Jeopardy. Tune in every weekday at 6:30 to check us out. Also, tune in next Wednesday for the DG special right here on the Comedy Bar channel, DGS Productions Twitch channel, Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope, D Live, YouTube. And have a good day. Hope you're all doing just fine.